Okay, so negative says that we spend a lot on cloning already. At first, I'd like to say federal funding is prohibited. And according to Adam Levine, who is the writer of Cloning, A Beginner's Guide, therapeutic cloning research using private funding is not restricted at the national level, but several states explicitly ban it. The use of federal funding is prohibited, forcing scientists interested in therapeutic cloning to look elsewhere for funding. This restriction is significant, as the government is a major funding source for basic biomedical research conducted at academic institutions. So what I'm trying to say is cloning can use extra funding. Funding for cloning research has declined in California. Also found in Cloning, A Beginner's Guide, California, where voters approved $3 billion in funding for stem cell research in November 2004, seems poised to lead the way, although litigation has slowed the state's efforts. And lastly, researchers find a portion of their money in private funding. Also by Adam Levine, federal funding is limited to research on human embryonic stem cell lines derived from spare embryos before the 9th of August 2001. Just like scientists hoping to study therapeutic cloning, scientists wishing to study newer human embryonic stem cell lines must rely on private funding. Because of this, national U.S. policy toward human embryonic stem cell and therapeutic cloning research is generally considered restrictive. So if we had government funding, then there wouldn't be a need for private funding. Just to touch on what he said about diversity, according to John Kilner from the Center for Bioethics and Human Dignity, people's beliefs and values are too diverse to adopt any particular set of them as normative for everyone. Society should do everything possible to enhance the ability of individuals and groups to pursue what they deem most important. And about cloning should be free choice. And according to Dan Brock, who is the writer of Clones and Clones, Facts and Fantasies About Human Cloning, the choice of an assisted means of reproduction should be protected by reproductive freedom, even when it is not only means for individuals to reproduce. Human cloning is a different means of reproduction than sexual reproduction, but it is a means that can serve individuals' interests in reproducing. So it would help, once again, it would help those who are infertile that want a child. Saying that the negative also claim that cloning can negatively affect society. Cloning will not affect personal relationships. According to the Ethical Rights Foundation, that a human clone might distort some people's views of human relationships is a flawed argument, just as it was when arguments were first raised against IVF technology. A cloned child could actually enhance the family relationships for otherwise childless couples. And lastly, I would like to say, those people that are against cloning, to reinforce what Riza said, are the ones that were also against anesthesia, smallpox inoculations, contraception, heart transplants, in vitro fertilization, and those are all procedures that we use now.